Hey guys, MJ Madness here, and baseball's opening day is right around the corner, so today I'm going to be giving you my MLB season preview and predictions 2018. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is analyzing and previewing all 30 teams and giving you my predicted standings for all 6 divisions. Then, at the end of the video, I'll be giving you my picks for all the major awards, and finally wrap it up with my predictions for the World Series. So let's get started. Kicking things off in the American League, up first we have one of baseball's tougher divisions, the AL East. In 5th place, I have the Baltimore Orioles. While Manny Machado remains one of the better players in baseball, quite frankly, their starting rotation is awful, and that should keep them in the basement this year. In 4th place, I have the Tampa Bay Rays. While they do have solid pitching, the loss of Evan Longoria should really hurt them on the offensive side of the ball, and they simply don't have what it takes to compete with the big guns in the AL East. In 3rd place, I have the Toronto Blue Jays. I definitely think the Jays have an outside shot of competing. They definitely are still a solid team, but they simply don't have the depth nor the talent to keep up with the Yankees or the Red Sox in this division. In 2nd place, I have the Boston Red Sox. I think the Red Sox should pretty easily snag a wild card spot this year. They definitely are one of the better teams in baseball, and the addition of JD Martinez in the offseason should only improve their talent. And in 1st place, I have the New York Yankees. Already, the Yankees were an amazing team, led by Gary Sanchez and Aaron Judge, but they made the biggest move of the offseason, bringing in NL MVP Giancarlo Stanton, and that should make them even better. I definitely think they're going to be one of the best teams in baseball this season. Next up, we have the AL Central. In 5th place, I have the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers aren't a very good team, and I don't think this season will be much more for them than kicking off the rebuild. In 4th place, I have the Chicago White Sox. While the Sox do have some nice young pieces, they definitely have a lot more work to go. In 3rd place, I have the Kansas City Royals. Much like the Tigers, I don't think the season will be much more for them than kicking off the rebuild. In 2nd place, I have the Minnesota Twins. I think the Twins are the only team with even a chance of competing with the team at the top of this division. The Twins shocked the baseball world last season by making a miraculous run for the wild card spot, but this year I think that magic runs out. And in 1st place, I have the Cleveland Indians. I think the Indians will once again run away with this division and remain a team that definitely has a legitimate shot at contending for the World Series. And lastly, wrapping up the American League, we have the AL West. In 5th place, I have the Oakland Athletics. I actually like this Athletics team. I think they have a good collection of young talent that will take a step forward this season. They may not see much of a change in the win-loss department, but they're definitely headed in the right direction. In 4th place, I have the Texas Rangers. I think the Rangers will spend another season toiling in mediocrity, as they don't really have what it takes to contend for a wild-card berth. In 3rd place, I have the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners definitely did make a lot of moves this offseason, but did they really get better? I don't think so. In 2nd place, I have the Los Angeles Angels. I think the Angels look like one of the most improved teams in baseball this season. They definitely made some solid moves, and of course the big news is bringing in Japanese phenom Shohei Ohtani. I believe the hype, and I think the Angels will be good enough to snag that wild card spot in the American League. And in 1st place, who else but the reigning World Series champions, the Houston Astros. Can anybody catch the Astros? Definitely not. They have perhaps the best pitching rotation in baseball, and they remain very deep, very stacked, and overall the team to beat in baseball this year. Moving things over to the National League, up first we have the NL East. In 5th place, we have the Miami Marlins. This team is an absolute dumpster fire. They traded away Giancarlo Stanton along with a few other nice pieces in the offseason, leaving them with one of the worst starting rotations in baseball, a weak offense, and overall an awful team. For the record, the Marlins are my pick to be the worst team in the MLB this season. In 4th place, I have the Atlanta Braves. The Braves definitely are a rebuilding team, but I definitely think that they are headed in the right direction. In 3rd place, I have the Philadelphia Phillies. Much like the Braves, these are two teams in similar points in their respective rebuilds. I think they're both still in the process of developing and assessing their young talent, but they're definitely close to seeing the results from the fruits of their labor. In second place, I have the New York Mets. A lot went wrong for the Mets last season in terms of bad luck and injuries, and I definitely think when healthy they can compete, but I just don't think they'll be able to pull it all together and make a run for a wild card spot this year. And in first place, we have the Washington Nationals. On paper, the Nationals are as talented as any team in baseball, but we're still waiting for them to take the next step in the postseason. I definitely think they should be able to easily win the division yet again, but we really need to see what they do in the postseason for them to really make an impact this year. Up next, we have the NL Central. In fifth place, I have the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates have really fallen off, and I think them trading away Andrew McCutchen and Jarrett Cole in the offseason really signifies the start of the rebuild. In fourth place, I have the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds definitely are moving in the right direction, but I still think they're a ways away from competing. In third place, I have the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals are a sneaky good team, and I definitely like their audition of Marcell Ozuna. I think they're going to be right there all season long in competing for a wildcard berth, but in the end, I think they fall just short. In second place, I have the Milwaukee Brewers snagging a wildcard spot. This is perhaps my boldest prediction of this video, but I really like this Brewers team, and I think they're going to shock a lot of people this year and have a very good season. I really like their additions of Christian Yelich and Lorenzo Cain, making what was already a potent offense even better, and I definitely think they have the potential to really have a great season this year. And in first place, I have the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs definitely didn't have the year they wanted last season, but I think they will be back to their winning ways and will once again contend for a World Series title. And finally, we have what is, in my opinion, the toughest division in baseball, the NL West, where the top 4 teams all have a legitimate shot at making the playoffs. In fifth place, I have the San Diego Padres. The Padres are at least a few years away from competing, but they definitely do boast one of the best farm systems in baseball and quietly are developing some nice young pieces. In fourth place, I have the San Francisco Giants. I've definitely met some people who think no doubt that the Giants are a playoff team after adding Evan Longoria and Andrew McCutchen in the offseason, but unfortunately for them, it isn't 2013 anymore. And while I do think the Giants have dark horse potential, they're simply too old to compete for the playoffs this year. But I do think they will be just there on the outside all season long. In third place, I have the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies were a wildcard team last year, but they haven't really made any moves to get that much better, and I think in such a tough division, they're going to be on the outside looking in at the end of the season. In second place, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think once again, the Diamondbacks will be able to secure a wildcard spot this year, and while I don't think they're ready to seriously compete for the World Series, they still are a good team that should be able to make the playoffs. And in first place, I have the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think the Dodgers will have the best record in the National League, and they remain among the teams to beat in baseball. And overall, top to bottom, just a very scary, very well-rounded team. To wrap things up, I'm going to be giving you my MVP picks and predictions for the playoffs and World Series. For the American League MVP, I gotta go with Mike Trout of the Los Angeles Angels. I already told you how I think the Angels will be able to snag a wildcard berth this upcoming season, and I think that's going to be on the back of the guy who I think is the best player in baseball, Mike Trout. He definitely does have some more help this season, most notably Shohei Ohtani, but he is still going to need to be that guy, and I think as long as he stays healthy, he is going to step up and win that AL MVP. Over in the National League, my MVP pick is Bryce Harper of the Washington Nationals. This may be his last year in Washington, and I think that he is going to show up. I am predicting another amazing season for Bryce Harper, and I think he leads the Nationals to another division title and leads himself to that National League MVP. Getting over to my playoff predictions, to recap, in the American League, I have the New York Yankees, Cleveland Indians, and Houston Astros as the division winners. Then I have the Boston Red Sox and Los Angeles Angels snagging the first and second wildcard spots respectively. Over in the National League, I have the Washington Nationals, Chicago Cubs, and Los Angeles Dodgers as the division winners. Then I have the Arizona Diamondbacks as the first wildcard team, and the Milwaukee Brewers as the second wildcard team. Getting over to my World Series predictions, there are a lot of teams that I think can realistically contend for the World Series. We have past recent winners like the Chicago Cubs and the Houston Astros. Then we have some upstart teams like the Cleveland Indians, the Boston Red Sox, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. But my pick for the 2018 World Series is the New York Yankees. I love this Yankees team. I really like their addition of Giancarlo Stanton, and I think that they will be the team that takes home the 2018 World Series. And I see them beating the Washington Nationals. I think the Nationals finally will be able to get over that first round hump and make their way to a World Series. I think they are a very solid dark horse contender. They'll make it all the way to the World Series, but in the end, I don't think they have what it takes to take down the New York Yankees, meaning that I think the Yankees will be the team that brings home the World Series in 2018. So that's going to do it for this video. Be sure to let me know down in the comment section whether or not you agree with my predictions, and also leave some predictions of your own, and let me know who you think is going to win this upcoming World Series. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button if you'd like to see more baseball-themed videos, and take care.